A-Day is less than a week away, and we will be live for it. More specifically, producer Chris will be solo producing that one for you guys, handling it all by himself for the first time. So make sure you guys are subscribed for live spring game coverage right here on the Alabama Football Report. The second scrimmage is in the books for Alabama, including some post-scrimmage comments made by head coach Kalen DeBoer. So we're going to break that down for you on today's show. We begin, unfortunately, with injury news, as offensive lineman Jaeden Roberts suffered a lower body injury during the scrimmage. Now, he had emerged from the medical tent wearing a walking boot. There had been some reports of crutches and some variation of that. Kalen DeBoer said afterwards that Roberts was going to be just fine. Nothing overly concerning about that front, but it is still an injury. That doesn't sound like it's like a snapped ankle or a tear or whatever, but maybe more on lines of an ankle sprain. There's no timetable here on Jaeden Roberts' recovery, and there doesn't need to be. The season is months away from happening. I would assume, you know what happens when you assume, but it's a very reasonable assumption, that he sits out A-Day, does not play this upcoming game here in the spring. There's just no benefit from that perspective for the Crimson Tide. Why risk injury for a guy that's already a clear-cut starter at right guard? You don't need to do that if you are the Crimson Tide. There's no sense in pushing it. There's no sense in rushing it. There's no benefit to doing that, especially at this stage, and as we'll get into, when maybe your starting center isn't even part of the A-Day game either. It does give opportunities to backups. It allows for more position flex and more chances to give some of those young guys roles where, if, knock on wood, somebody goes down in the regular season, there's some more experience that's been gained in the spring for younger players. So what is your concern level over the Jaeden Roberts injury? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 of what injury? You're not worried about it at all. 10, you're freaking out. Season's over. They're going to be worse than Vanderbilt. It's not a 10. Might not be a 1 either. But it is the pinned comment on this video. So if the ad comes here, ignore the ad, scroll down, and go let me know how concerned you are about the Jaeden Roberts injury. We'll stay on the offensive line. A noteworthy Parker Brailsford update for you guys. Head coach Kalen DeBoer, no surprise, asked about, hey, where's Parker? Why hasn't he been at practices recently? Here's what the head coach said. Parker is just going through non-football related things. He's going to be with us. He's working out with our strength staff and has done a great job there. He's never done anything wrong. It's nothing like that. It's working hard, and he's going to be ready to go here sooner than later, just taking it day by day. He's going to be here with us. It's not a transfer thing. It's nothing like that. Just want to make sure I'm clear. It's nothing on his end where he's done anything wrong or anything like that. So the way I read that is it's personal problems he's been dealing with. It's not injury, it's not transfer, it's not suspension. So whatever it is, it's going to be okay. By the way, in front of the show, Kyle Henderson did capture this photo of Parker Brailsford. Clearly mid/post workout, by the way. That man is sweating everywhere. So I think this is going to do a lot to calm concerns about Brailsford potentially transferring. I don't know if we'll see him at all during the spring. As long as we see him in time for fall camp, I think we all feel better, right? Brailsford has a chance to be a huge part of this Alabama offensive line in 2024. The results he did in the Pac-12 against, maybe it's not the same level of competition, but still was very impressive. Brailsford was the second best, I would argue, maybe center in the country behind fellow Pac-12 player Jackson Powers-Johnson, or at least in that conversation of being in that range. So I am excited about him long term, and I'll have some more patience in terms of when he ends up making that impact felt. Now, with Brailsford still out, James Brockermeyer has handled the number one center responsibilities, and by all accounts, assuming it's not, copium or hopium, he's done a pretty good job so far in the spring. Here's what head coach Kalen DeBoer said on Brockermeyer. He's done a really good job. He's got a lot of opportunities to take a lot of snaps and hanging in there. The communication has been clean. Those 5 guys have been up there. We had, like I said, Jaeden out for a couple snaps today, but he's done a really good job. When those opportunities pop up, that's what you need to do. He's taken a lot of snaps here the last week, this past week, these last 6 or 7 days. It's great. It's a great opportunity for him. It really shouldn't be a surprise when you see offensive linemen needing a couple years of development into a possible starter. I think at times we are spoiled, especially as Alabama fans. You guys are. And producer Chris is the biggest one I know out there. Although maybe the new guy will be a big Bama fan too. Who knows? Anyway, I got off track. It takes time. You don't always get instant 5-star center being a clear-cut first-round pick. A lot of guys need more time to grow and to develop because sometimes the coaching they get isn't going to be up to par, by the way. So we will monitor the center battle here. But who do you think it should be? JB for James Brockermeyer, PB for Parker Brailsford. Go ahead and sound off for me in the comment section right now. While you're down there, click the link for Game Time. It is the place for last-minute tickets to your next big event. Maybe it's a Braves game. Maybe it's an Alabama game. Maybe it's an Alabama baseball game. Of course, I meant football the first time around. Maybe it's comedy, theater, or whatever. Game Time has you covered. You can go to gametime.co, download the app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Now, terms do apply, but use code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off. You can get your Bama football tickets right now. Maybe you want to wait to that or a different event altogether because prices tend to drop. Game Time will help you out. They take the guesswork out of buying tickets. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So the URL to download the app, gametime.co, and the promo code, ChatSports, are in the comment section and the description of today's video. Make sure you check them out. Let's move to quarterback here. Positive trends again for the QB room. I'll make note, take spring reports and the fall reports with a grain of salt because you almost always hear only the positive things coming out, which is fine. That's not a bad thing, by the way. Jalen Milroe had a touchdown pass to CJ Dippre, so good stuff there. Ty Simpson had ones to Henderson and Kobe Prentice at receiver. Dylan Lonergan had a pass to Caleb Odom as well. 3 guys that in theory could be quarterback 1, 2, 3. We'll see about Austin Mack moving forward. Now, I do want to be clear because I also know how things tend to go in the spring at quarterbacks. Jalen Milroe will be quarterback 1. I think we will continue to hear positive things about Ty Simpson, and that is a good thing. And we can call him QB 1.5. I genuinely hope that Ty Simpson plays great in the A-Day game. And we're like, oh, maybe he's going to be the next great Bama quarterback. And you get that little quarterback battle narrative going. And I think it's actually something Kalen DeBoer would like because competition breeds success and also helps prevent potential transfers, maybe. I don't think there will actually be a battle. I think Simpson is trying to set himself up to be quarterback 1 next year when Milroe's off to the NFL with whatever draft pick he ends up being. I would also not sleep on the Jalen Milroe Heisman hype. That's something he wants, by the way. That was pretty clear. He was kind of asking for it last year, which he wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't going to happen there. But I'm excited to see how he fares in this offense and what changes the offense makes from what we saw last year with Washington and Kalen DeBoer, with a new OC also in place. Quarterback room should be fine. I will say, I am moving forward for college football. I'm taking a 1-year approach to pretty much all quarterback rooms because they all transfer. And I don't blame them either, by the way. So for this year, I feel good about it. How do you feel about it? Grade the Alabama quarterback room in the comment section. A, B, C, D, or F. Another notable player to certainly monitor is one Caleb Odom. Kalen DeBoer pointing out a particular play from Odom on a jump ball touchdown pass from Dylan Lonergan. Odom's set to play wide receiver, it certainly sounds like, this upcoming year, along with Jeremy Bernard, Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice. We'll see about Jalen Hale's injury timeline. There are opportunities for Odom, who DeBoer called, quote, a big red zone target, basically, that you don't necessarily have. Like, think about these other receivers. They're not the biggest group of guys, necessarily. There's some size there, don't get me wrong. But Odom brings you different size. So maybe there's a role for him, even as early as a freshman. So do you think Caleb Odom can carve out a starting wide receiver role in his first season? Y for yes and for no in the comments section.